Hello everyone, this is Serious Trivia and welcome back to another A Better Commandery Guide video. Today we'll be covering Chengdu, the historical capital of Liu Bei's Kingdom of Shuhan. This is a subscriber requested video and part of our A Better Commandery Guide 100th subscriber celebration week event. Our next and final commandery guide for this week will be tomorrow, and it will be an overview of all the faction unique buildings in the game, so please keep your eye out for that one. Also, starting next week, I will be taking a short break from making commandery guide videos and instead be releasing something completely new to the channel. Starting next Monday at 8 PM Eastern Time, I will be kicking off an 8-part lore series covering the events leading up to and the events of the 8 Princes period. These 8 episodes will be released daily on the weekdays in place of these guide videos, and will conclude on August 7th, the eve of the release of the 8 Princes DLC. On weekends, we'll still be continuing our Reform Guide series. There are a few reasons that I'm doing this. One, as the channel is called Serious Trivia, I hope to add more elements of trivia and historical lore to the channel, especially with such rich source materials. 2, the 8 Princes period is very interesting, but not well known. So I thought it would be worthwhile to share my research in the past few weeks with all of you. As being Chinese, I have the advantage of being able to read and listen to source materials about the subject. Lastly, whether you plan on getting the 8 Princes DLC for yourself or just plan on watching it on my next Let's Play, knowing the backdrop of the story will definitely help with your immersion to the characters themselves and build hype, as we are now less than 2 weeks away from its official release. And if you're still on the fence about the DLC, maybe knowing the story will help you make a better decision on whether to purchase the DLC or not. So with that assignment out of the way, let's jump back into the Chengdu guide. As always, we start by looking at where Chengdu is on the map. We can see here that Chengdu is located in the western edge of the map. At the start of the game, Chengdu is under the control of Liu Yan, who is the father of the more famous Liu Zhang. It is far away from most playable factions, with only the Yellow Turban Gongdu being a relatively close neighbor. Around the commandery capital, Chengdu also has a armor specialty county located to the west, shown here, a salt mine specialty county located to the south, shown here, and finally a farmland specialty county to the east, shown here. And we'll begin by taking a look at these 3 specialty counties to determine the most efficient way to build Chengdu. First up, we have the Armorer, which is a super rare specialty county that has the chance to produce armors for your faction periodically. There are only 2 armorers on the entire map, with the other one located in Changsha. The building chain for this county is linear and comes with 3 levels. With each level, your chance of producing higher quality armors increase, and your upkeep cost increases as well. Given the battle stat boost, the diplomatic trade values, and the cosmetic values of armors, this upkeep cost is totally justifiable, so upgrade this to the max level as soon as possible. Next, we have the Salt Mine, which is an industry income generating county that has a linear building chain as well. With each level, the industry income provided increased by 100 gold per turn until level 5, where it jumps by 150 instead. It is worth noting that of all the mines in the game, the salt mine is the only mine that does not benefit from the shaft mining reform shown here. This makes logical sense because mining for salt is really an evaporation process, while iron, jade, and copper mining require shafts to be dug into the earth for extraction. But sadly, this also means that there will be no 20% discount for upgrading the salt mine. Finally, we have the grain farmland, which is a food producing county. We can see here that the building chain is once again linear, and with each level we get more food at a cost of increasing upkeep. All 3 of these building chains have appeared before in our commandery guide videos in Changsha, Jianye, and Chen. And since we now have a specialty county overview guide as well, you can learn more about these counties there. For the purpose of our guide here, we can determine that Chengdu, despite having 3 specialty counties, really only have 1 income generating county in the industry income generating salt mine, To make matters worse, the other two counties will add a heavy upkeep burden and increase the population cap by a total of 1 million, which will end up bringing more public order issues. So it's not ideal to gear Chengdu as an income generating commandery, but we will still try it anyways in this guide, as sometimes in game as in life, we have to make do with what we have. So to kick off our guide, we'll set the settlement level to a level 4 small city with 3 building slots, and set our specialty counties to level 2 for the armorer and level 3 for the salt mine and farmland. We picked the small city because it is the level that unlocks all building chains and most building upgrades, and unless you're doing a migration campaign, you will almost always find Chengdu at a much higher settlement level when you finally capture it. The levels for the specialty counties are determined because upgrading to these levels requires no commitment in terms of reforms and no special resources, so I deem them as a good neutral starting point. And because we only have an industry income generating source in the salt mine, we'll be treating Chengdu as an industry and commerce focused commandery. This combination is mainly due to the nature of Wuxing building synergies in the game between economic or purple buildings and the learning and market or blue buildings, and the fact that the private workshop building provides both commerce and industry income multipliers. We can see here our first build with a level 4 state workshop, private workshop, and inn buildings. The good thing about Chengdu is that it is located close to 2 of the 3 tea resources on the map, so we can reasonably assume that you can secure a tea resource, which would then enable us to convert the guest house level 4 inn building to a tea house. This will improve our income from 1,356 to 1,487 gold per turn. If you want to know the detailed math about the order to build and upgrade these 3 buildings, I will link my commerce and industry template build video in the description below. But a simple rule of thumb to follow is to just upgrade the private workshop to the max first, followed by the inn building, then finally the state workshop building. It's not the perfect build path, but it's close enough and easy to remember and execute in the game. Now, to build these buildings, we need the following 5 reforms shown here. By unlocking them, you will receive some nice passive income multiplier buff as well, which we have already taken into account in our calculation earlier. If you recall any of our previous guides, this amount is quite low, and we can still improve on it a bit by upgrading all 3 specialty counties to their max level as shown here. This, however, will require a lot of reforms. As you can see here, we need a total of 10 reforms to max out our specialty counties, but with these reforms, we'll once again receive some powerful passive bonuses. So if we complete this max small city build in Chengdu, we can see our income rise to 1,789 gold per turn. This is still quite low, as even Yangzhou, which I didn't take a liking to, can reach over 2,000 gold per turn as a small city. This is entirely due to the 2 income draining upkeep intensive farmland and armor counties. The one saving grace in this is that because we have the armorer and the salt mine counties, which are both purple or economic counties, we have a great Wuxing synergy to help keep the cost of building up Chengdu low. As we can see here in this build, our cost to build and upgrade the inn building chain and other blue building chains can enjoy a 45% discount, which can be farther decreased with administrator and set bonuses from the 4-man follower item. If you really wanted to, you can definitely gear Chengdu to reach 100% discount to learning and market or blue buildings, but since the income potential in Chengdu is so low, I do not recommend this. Save your precious administrator slot for a better commandery. If you want to see this 100% discount in action, I have already achieved 95% discount in my Cao Cao Let's Play for Jianye and Nanyang, and enjoy building and upgrading the inn building for less than 150 gold. So you can definitely go check that out if you're curious. Another way to improve our income is by upgrading our settlement so we can unlock new building slots. If we upgrade to a level 5 city, we can gain a new building slot where we can build the marketplace. This is another blue building, so we can once again enjoy the 45% discount and build it cheaply. to gain 125% additional commerce income multiplier, which will finally push our income to over 2,000 with 2007.75 income per turn. Sadly, this is still pathetically low, and it will definitely cause some public order issues as we have nothing to fight it. So let's try pushing the envelope one more time and upgrade all the way to a level 7 settlement or a small regional city where we can gain a 5th building slot. Yet the main benefit of this is that we can now finally upgrade all our building to level 5, as the jump from level 4 to level 5 brings disproportionate amount of benefits. Now, for the new slot, we are forced to put a temple in because we're definitely going to be having a lot of public order issues from our increasing population. And we don't really want to commit an army here in Chengdu to defend it against rebels because it would not be worth it, as it is on the edge of the map, so this army essentially would have no other utility use. Our new income here in the small regional city build with maxed out level 5 buildings will be 3,147.5, and because the small regional city consumes 16 food, our 10 food from the farmland will no longer be enough to make Chengdu self-sustaining, so we're going to be running at a -6 food per turn in Chengdu. To unlock these building upgrades, we only need to pick up 4 new reforms as shown here, and they once again come with some very nice income multipliers, which we have already incorporated into our calculation. Now, we must reconsider right now the purpose of a commandery like Chengdu. We can definitely follow the build path we just discussed and gear for income, but it's just not efficient. We're running a level 7 small regional city for only 3,000 gold per turn. That's just not great. We have to look at what the key advantage of Chengdu is, and that is the armor county, which can produce armor, and the fact that it gives it 2 purple counties, so we can build blue buildings cheaply. So I suggest we simply make Chengdu a support or utility commandery. We can see here that we can switch the state workshop to the corruption fighting branch to provide 15% corruption reduction to Chengdu and all surrounding adjacent commanderies. We can also switch the marketplace building, which only adds around 300 income per turn because we have a very low base commerce income, to a school building, which is a building we have not discussed much in any of our commandery guide as it doesn't produce income. But in such a utility build for a small regional city, we can take full advantage of our Wuxing synergies and build this cheaply and supply our whole faction with a 20% character experience boost. Now this build will end up producing 2,452.5 income per turn, so it's not bad, and it's definitely a viable choice with the additional corruption reduction and experience boosting benefits. However, it is still a food drain and very costly to build all the way to a small regional city, although you probably find it at such a level or higher when you finally capture it in your games. So it could actually not bring you any additional cost to upgrade the settlement. However, if you are able to capture it earlier, or you plan on sacking and withdrawing from Chengdu multiple times to get it to a lower level settlement to save on food, you can definitely follow a more manageable build with a small city template shown here. With this build, you're still going to be contributing to your economy with 1,594 gold per turn, and you will be helping out by adding 8 food to your overall global food production, and the corruption reduction is also a nice added benefit for Chengdu and surrounding commanderies. Speaking of surrounding commanderies, let's wrap up by looking at Chengdu's neighbors. To the north, we have Baxi, and to the east, we have Ba, and finally to the south, we have Jiangyang. Now this concludes this guide, as we have the star rating shown here. With no peasantry income counties, I give Chengdu a meager 1 star for peasantry. Commerce is okay with 2-star rating, as Chengdu can enjoy a sizable discount to build up its commerce buildings. Industry is just average with 3 stars, since it only has 1 industry generating income county in the salt mine. Food is 2 stars with just the farmland county, and adjacency gets 1 star, as Chengdu is located on the edge of the map with only 3 adjacent commanderies. Overall, I give Chengdu just 2 stars that can maybe go up to 3 stars if we consider the immense value of the armor county. Hopefully you enjoyed this guide. Now, Chengdu might not be the best commandery in the game, but it is definitely a great place to visit in real life. They're the home to spicy hot pots and cuddly pandas. Once again, thank you for watching, and if you haven't done so already, please subscribe so you can get notifications when my faction unique building overview guide drops tomorrow, and definitely come back to check out my lore story time covering the 8 princes starting next Monday. If you want to request any guides, just leave a comment below and I will make it happen, just like with this video. So have a wonderful day and see y'all next time. Bye!